This is the PlayStation 1 multi-tap. This is a really fun accessory that fits and works with the PlayStation 1 console. Basically, it allows you to play as much as 5 players at the same time. Plus, it adds a bunch of memory card ports. You can see these, and it even has a small little cable with this stop, so you can attach it to your PS1. It's really good. We used to use it for a lot of times for Crash Team Racing, because that supports 4 players. Plus, if you have 2 multi-taps, which sadly I don't, then you can use it for 8-player games. There are not that many games that support that much players on one console, but there are some standout ones, like Quake 2, which you can play on 4-player split screen. There are racing games, there are sports games you can use with it. So it's a really fun and really cool accessory, in my opinion. And now it's time to talk about my PlayStation 1 collection and some more games that we haven't talked yet. And the first one is an interesting one. It's a Doom clone. It's called Disruptor. Schluss mit lustig. Playtime is over. So this one is actually... it has like codes. Okay, thank you. So this is a first-person shooter. It's a Doom clone. There is no doubt about it. It's got similar stages, key cards. You play as troopers. There are some enemies and intelligent, and there is like gaming AI going on there. It's an 18+ game in certain regions, which is, it's a shooter game. It reminds me of Doom, basically, because this is basically a clone of that game. And the interesting thing about this one is that it was made by a small studio called... Can I zoom on it? Yes, Insomniac, and published by Universal Studios. Universal Interactive Studios. So this is actually the first game that Insomniac Games actually made. So, Insomniac is the studio that's been around for a pretty long time, I would say. After this, they worked on the Spyro trilogy, and then they made a lot of Ratchet and Clank games, and then they moved on to the PlayStation 3, where they made some more Ratchet and Clank games, and they also made Resistance, and then after that on the PS4, Ratchet and Clank again. But now they make Spider-Man games, so Marvel Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Spider-Man 2, the upcoming Wolverine game, and then a couple of years ago they also made Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. So this is pretty cool. It's the starting point for their career, and it's a pretty solid, albeit very similar game to anything like this, very similar to Doom, so it's a pretty shameless product. And if we already talked about Doom, why don't we talk about Doom for the PS1? This is an interesting version of Doom. I think this is probably the best console version until this point, because Doom got its own release later, like Doom 64, and then it also had the famous Super Nintendo and Atari Jaguar versions, and Doom is basically on everything from calculators to smart fridges nowadays. But this port is pretty good. It has some PlayStation exclusive stuff in there. It has the weird double spined, can we focus? Weird double spined release, although it only has one disc. So if we open it up, there's the game, there is the manual, and then there is emptiness in there. So actually I did beat this game, although I haven't really played Doom until Doom 2016. I have a core memory in my head where I was like 7 or 8 and I saw the original Doom demo on PC, and it blew my mind, like how violent and how intricate that game was. It's probably the first 3D game I ever saw when I was a kid, and it immediately captured my imagination. But I didn't really get into it until Doom 2016. But after that, I beat basically all the Doom games, as far as I remember. That's like mainline ones, so Doom 1, 2, 3, 2016, and then I beat, on release day, I bought Doom Eternal, and I beat that as well. But I did beat the first one and the second one on the Doom 3 BFG edition, I would say, on the PlayStation 3, which is, I know, it's not really the ideal or not really the best version of the game, but I think it was still worth playing it. And this one is also cool. There are some problems with it, but it's still, I think it's a very solid port of the game with some exclusive stuff. It's strange playing Doom with the controller, probably for a lot of people, but also you can play it in, I think you can play it in co-op mode if you link two PlayStation consoles together with the link cable thingy. And then you need, of course, 2 copies of the game and whatever. And weirdly enough, back in the day it was Williams. You can see it, Williams Entertainment, that was the publisher of Doom, but I think this is a classic one. There is Final Doom on PS1, so I think that must be the best version, but this one is pretty cool as well. And then there is a dead game series, sadly. It's owned by Ubisoft and it's pretty much dead now. It's the Driver series. So back in the day, Reflections made 2 games for the PS1. 2 Driver games for the PS1. And the first one is notorious for its incredibly difficult, like crazy difficult tutorial. You have to do like little challenges, like tricks and whatnot, and it's not really good, to be honest. It's way too hard. Although the game itself is cool, you can get out of the car, you can go shooting. I think it predates GTA, but with like normally you wouldn't like it's really ahead of it was really ahead of its time. That's what I want to say. So yeah, of course the PC version was the best of both of these games, but this is I don't have the back. But this is actually like a really ambitious game for its time. I mean, we're talking about open world 3D games on the PS1 where you can go and wreak havoc and drive a car, and it has this 70s vibes, so you can go and drive classic cars. So it has this sort of 70s car chase type of deal, and I think it's really cool. So the PS1 had a bunch of weird games, I think, where this is one of them. Egypt 1156 BC, the Royal Tomb, I think, the Enigma of the Royal Tomb. So I don't even know what this game was. I think it's more like a historical kind of game. It's not really an action game or something. It's more like, you can go and learn. It's kind of like an edutainment sort of title. Not like 100%, but something I really like about this game is disc design is absolutely beautiful. I like this sort of thing, but it's not actually a game that much. It's more like a multimedia sort of project with so you can learn about Egyptian history, and it's made by the French, so it's probably pretty good, although I'm not really a big fan of the sort of 3D CG character models, although that's probably the best hand animation I've saw on this generation. So finally, some good games. We are going to be talking about Exhumed on the PS1. And I've already talked about Doom in this video, I already talked about Disruptor, and this is another Doom clone. Yay, but it's actually a really decent one. I think it has a different title in America. I'm not sure what it is, but it has a PS5 or PS4 re-release recently. I think this is a cool one. So you can go around Egypt, and shoot like crazy people and uncover history, and it's a pretty good shooter that's in like pyramids. It has a chunky manual, it has a pretty cool disc, and I think Exhumed is how do you say this? It's like a hidden gem of a first-person shooter. Back in the day there weren't that many first-person shooters on consoles, but this one is a pretty solid one. Quick cut here, I checked, and it's called Power Slave in the US, and if you want to play the remastered version, search for Power Slave on PlayStation, on the PlayStation Store, Nintendo eShop, probably it's on Xbox as well. But yeah, It's called Power Slave now, and it got a re-release, so I guess it's really good. Something that I also played a lot when I was a kid, it's FIFA 2004. I like football. I like football games. This is one of the last PS1 games that got released. FIFA Football 2005 was actually the last game released for the PS1 as far as I remember. This is 1 year before it, but basically that was just a small update. This is, I would say it's a good game, although it's incredibly clunky and the character models look crazy. And but it's also, you can play it with a multi-tap, so it's an 8-player game. Authentic football, yeah. It is a very, very, very much worse version than the PS2 version, which has the club football sort of stuff, so it has like elite teams. We'll talk about this later, and people probably don't really care about old FIFA games, to be honest, but yeah, it's one of the games that I spent most time on the PS1 just because I enjoyed football games, and back in the day this was a big deal. One of the absolute classics of the PlayStation 1 console is, of course, Final Fantasy VII. This is an original release of this famous and well-loved game that's got it's basically on every console that you can imagine. There is a remake, there is a remake of a remake, there is a pixel whatever, and there is the remake's re-release, and the remake has also sequel, so it's a huge game. It's a big classic. Sadly, it wasn't really a classic for me. I haven't played it as a kid, and to be honest, getting into these huge RPGs 30 years later is not really something where I might play this or any Final Fantasy game in the future, because I have some other RPGs. I like Japanese RPGs, but Final Fantasy is not something that I ever gotten into and ever gotten around playing it. But this one has 3 discs. So this is disc number 1 with the manual. It's like a nice crisp manual. This is a really clean copy, which I'm really happy to have. And then disc 2, and then disc 3, and we can see a promotional material for the memory card. Yeah, PS1 memory card is great. I mean, I can imagine people buying FF7, and yeah, it even says try beating Final Fantasy VII without it. I mean, Jesus, that's insane if you want to beat this game without saving it, because it's a really long and convoluted game. So it's another racing game, Formula 1 for the PS1. I just like these games because you can play as a bunch of Formula 1 drivers that are not driving anymore. You can check out what was fun and cool back in the day, all these different designs. You can see, actually these are pretty solid. There is Verstappen. It's the world champion Verstappen's father back in the day, Jos Verstappen. And I started watching, oh wow, look at this guy. So I started watching Formula 1 when I was 6 or 7, so 1996, 1997. And I loved the whole vibe of the Formula 1 world. This game was made by Psygnosis. They are the ones who made the Wipeout games, so that's a pretty cool studio. And this is actually, I played this is a pretty solid game. It's kind of between an arcade and a simulation game. It's a bit on the simulation side, but it's still very fun, and it's just so cool to play these retro games, and you can see how far we've come since 1996. And here's another Formula 1 game. This is Formula 1 Arcade for the PlayStation 1. This is an exclusive. It only came out on the PS1. I think there must be a reason for that, because it's not very... How do I say this? It's not very high quality, but it's still fun. It's one of the games that I played as a child, because I was big into Formula 1, my parents bought it. And it's a good game, although it's not a simulation, it's more like as the name suggests, it's an arcade game. So you have all these power-ups, and you have all these crazy... How do I say this? These crazy track designs, and you have to collect stuff. and the car is stuck on the road, and you have there is like time trial mode. There is a bunch of extra stuff if you win the World Championship in the game, so you can get like mascots and collect stuff on the stages or the tracks. And then with all of that done, you can unlock some other game modes, and it's pretty fun. It's fully licensed, so there is a lot of retro Formula 1. Yeah, you see, it's like Stuart little game. Okay, thank you. There is a lot of retro Formula 1 drivers there, and it's, I don't know, I found these games pretty good to go back to. And look at this. Fanatec used to make speed wheels or racing wheels, and you know they are still making high quality, and I think this is one of the worst ones they probably made, although this looks really fun as well. But it's the Speedster 2. I would like to try this one. And fun fact, this is, I think, for the 2002 Formula 1 season. So it has Fernando Alonso at the Team Minardi. And Alonso, 23 years later, he is still in Formula 1. You can see like how the graphics hold up. It's, I don't know, it has some weird ones. Oh, it's actually 2001 season's Formula 1 game, so that's pretty cool. And last but not least, this is Galerians for the PS1. This is another one of those giant RPG titles with 3D animation graphics, and it's got some, see, it's got some pretty good reviews. There are, what do you call it, like systems. There are cast systems, so basically you can choose like which type of magic or fighting styles you want to use, and you can combine these styles, and it's really involved, and it has funny 3D CG sequences. You can see it's like a 1, 2, 3 disc game, plus it has the manual in there, which is probably, oh no, it's colorful. See, it's like nice colorful manual. Oh, I miss these colorful manuals. Lilia, age 14, okay. So yeah, Galerians. I think I might talk about this later, more in details. There are some, interesting ones. It's like kids, and they go against probably aliens and whatnot. There's like a rabbit that doesn't look like a rabbit, or I don't even know what the rabbit is. Yeah, this is probably an interesting title, although it must be hard to play after all these years and getting back to it. But I think this is a game that's probably well remembered from back in the day. This video got really long. These are the next batch of games that I wanted to talk about, and from these I would probably recommend trying Exhumed or Power Slave, and Final Fantasy VII, that's a classic. I hope you enjoyed the video. Check it out next time. Stay on the channel or watch the other videos. Subscribe, like this video, comment if you played any of these or if you have any recommendations for future videos. And as always, thanks for watching.